Hey, what is good, y'all? Welcome back to another video, man. So full disclaimer, I will start this video by saying do not mind my voice. I am a little under the weather at the current moment, but that it's not going to stop me from dropping content for y'all, man. So please be sure, with that being said, man, drop a like on this video. I really appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button if you are new here, and hit that bell, because if you are new here, there's going to be more content dropping, especially when College Football 27 release. So you don't want to miss that, man. So in my last video, we talked about what College Football 27 could use in order to, satisfy the masses that care about the drip on the game. So in today's video, we're going to be specifically talking about the things that I feel like would make the Dynasty mode a lot better. Now, Dynasty mode is my second favorite mode on this game. So with that being said, man, we're going to get right into it. Now, we're going to break it down to topics like we always do. First thing being the most important thing is NIL, right? So of course, players now are getting paid for their image and likeness. NIL has played a big part on college football in real life, and will hopefully soon play a big part on College Football 27. Now, they did not implement this on 26, so hopefully in College Football 27 they'll implement a facet of NIL in some kind of way. So let's talk about how they can do that. Players can earn better NIL sponsors as they improve each year, and they keep the word on notice of them. So if you're a smaller program, that could also lead to hitting the portal, your players hitting the portal for even bigger opportunities, right? But one way to counter this could be a skill in the coaching tree that'll help keep players from being poached. So you can have a skill in your coaching tree, your head coach, your coordinators, maybe position coaches, we'll talk about that later in the video, that will allow pretty much expanding the coaching tree. That will allow you the chance to keep your players from being poached due to NIL opportunity. NIL sponsors for your school as you build your program will come more often. So NIL offers will come that'll help build your wallet funding that you can use towards paying current players and recruits as well. Also, this will increase your brand opportunities, and you can use this towards stadium improvement. So I think a wallet, like we have recruiting hours, I think an NIL wallet that you could use towards building your roster, stadium improvements, stuff like that, brand deal sponsors. They already have, I think, Lowe's, I believe Allstate. They already have sponsors in College Football 26. What is it to get on 3? Fox 247, ESPN, which that would bring hopefully College Game Day to the game as well. Those sponsors could also help you with a smaller program as you get better, and you can use that in your NIL wallet funding, right? So certain sponsors will require you to wear their logo on their jerseys and on your field as well, or even throughout the stadium. So as you play well throughout the season, it'll provide more incentives for your program, but playing the opposite will leave you out of those opportunities. You'll have to build your roster wisely that you'll be able to use to help not only pay big players and transfers, but it'll also help you keep your current top players on your roster as well. And I would say at least your top 10 highest rated players. Maybe if they reach a deal breaker, they'll try to hit the portal or something like that, and you can use your NIL wallet to increase their, how much money their incentives, how much money they're making to help keep them on the roster, right? Just like in real life. So now we'll talk about recruiting with that being said. So whenever you scout a player, no matter if you fully scouted them or not, so even if you only put 10 hours in them, 20 hours, what have you, just to scout them, there'll be an indicator on the main board letting you know that you already put hours into them, so you won't waste time clicking them again and put them on your board just to find out you already scouted them. There'll be an indicator letting you know, hey, you've already checked this player out. That being said, you also can remove that player completely off the prospect board. So if you find a bust player, or you find a player that doesn't meet the requirements, or maybe they don't fit your scheme for your program, instead of wasting your time even seeing them on the recruiting board, you can remove them completely off. Right? You can search athletes by player positions in the search menu. You can't do that on College Football 26, right? You have to search and then scroll over to the certain position tab. So what I mean by that, if you want an athletic thumper, you can search the athletic position, the athlete position, you can search that, but it'll just show you all athletes, and you have to scroll through dual threats and contested specialists and stuff like that. I feel like they should make it to where you can look and type in athlete and then go under that and look under quarterback, running back, wide receiver, linebacker. So then it'll just take you straight there to wherever athletes are available in that position. Hopefully that makes sense. Recruits, faces, skin tones, hair, this should be customizable. And if they put tattoos in the game, would be a great implement. You should be able to do that as well. Recruits can be flipped either by you or by another program, right? But this also can be countered with a skill in the coaching tree. So just like I said before, with being able to flip transfers, your recruits can be, just because you get a recruit, right? Let's just say you get one, it's not fully done, right, until they sign pen to paper. So there's a possibility that recruit can still be flipped. And a lot of you probably hear that and be like, bro, this dude done set up before the devs hear that. Look, listen, it's real life. It's what happens if you want immersion in your Dynasty mode. These are things that you got to go through. And at the same time, I'm saying that this would make Dynasty mode more of an immersive experience, but at the same time, you can have it in the settings where you can turn that off. So if that's something you don't like, you can turn it off. Recruiting 5-star recruits will come with a hat choice presentation. Whether you're in a recruiting battle with another team, once a recruiting battle has activated, you will no longer see the progress bar on the player until the season date has been made. Even if you lose out on that player with a certain skill in your coaching tree, you can still target flip that commit before signing it. So with 5 stars, just because you lose out on the 5-star, you'll still have a chance to flip them if you have that perk. It helps even more if your head coach has it, and let's just say your offensive coordinator has it too, because it's a 5-star quarterback you're going after. You have a better chance of flipping that 5-star even though you lost out on them during the verbal commitment. And when I say a presentation, like just like the hat presentation they have on Road to Glory, man, it don't take nothing to have you take that same player, and yeah, the player will look like the way he does AI generated, and once you get on your team, you can edit him, so he might not look the same once he's on your team and he's yours. But during the presentation, man, let him have a hat ceremony like you do on Road to Glory, and he has his top 3, his top 4 on the table, and you have the anticipation and the anxiety tag like real coaches and programs have to see what hat he chooses. And some players even do the hat trick, some will just get straight to it. I think that'd be really cool for at least the 5-star recruits, right? I feel like recruiting also needs more pipeline zones. So with that being said, like I think they currently have Metro Atlanta, South Georgia, there's Central Georgia too. You know, you have schools, which I've made videos on them schools like Houston County High School, who had several commits actually signed papers yesterday, Northside, Peach County, Runner Robbins. Like you have a lot of schools in the Central Georgia area that produce a lot of talent. Central Georgia, North Georgia, you know, you have Buford up there, you have North Gwinnett, you have a lot of powerhouses in North Georgia, and it might be on College Football 26, but if it's not, they got to add more pipelines. Like even Tennessee, like they just have Tennessee. You know, I feel like South Tennessee, Central Tennessee, North Tennessee, I feel like, you know, you give more pipeline zones, it can help with recruiting as well. You should be able to use a filter on prospect searches that'll help you find players that fit your system, offensively and defensively. So when you make your coach, if you choose to create a coach, right, in the beginning of your dynasty, and you choose head coach, they'll have a tab on there called scheme. Then you can choose your offensive scheme and your defensive scheme. They have various schemes, and what that will do will help you target players that fit your scheme and want to be in your scheme. So when you scout them, it'll have an indicator to let you know, like, hey, this player is interested in this sort of scheme. So not only if they fit your scheme, which you can't change into the offseason, if they fit your scheme, you'll have a better opportunity of recruiting them and getting them and even to flip. But if they don't, it'll be harder of a battle. All right, so take a minute to look at this on the screen. It's on my thumbnail as well, but I'm gonna put this on the screen right here. So right here is an on-3 recruitment graphic. It's a legit graphic, but used with a video game player. I didn't create this. I did create one myself, but this one right here was created by somebody else. I'll drop their Twitter handle down below, so be sure to follow them. But it is an awesome graphic, man. Very creative. You know, if you can get on-3, Fox 247, or ESPN to be a sponsor on this game, why not? You know, instead of this graphic right here that we get whenever we get a recruit, I feel like we should get legit graphics like this. Now imagine they're immersing from an actual recruiting site, letting you know that you just got a commitment, and then let it be a top 32 player in the nation. I feel like it should show in your storyline as well, like, hey, Miami just got the #1 quarterback in the nation, a little AI generated caption of why he chose Miami that you can read in the story, all that stuff, man. I feel like that'll keep a lot of immersion and a lot of detail to the dynasty mode, right? So now we're going to talk about coaching. All right, so I feel like we should be able to fully customize coaches and their clothing options, right? Just how we do recruits. You can create a coach with various hairstyles, and you can make them look more like yourself if that's what you're choosing to do, or you can make them look like your actual coach if you played back in the day, right? I feel like you should have the ability to edit assistant coaches too. Their trees, like coordinators, position coaches. You should have the ability to put points into their trees too, because it don't seem like nothing happens with it. Like you have coordinators, and maybe you want your offensive coordinator to be a master recruiter, but it seems like throughout the seasons nothing changes unless you fire that coach and hire one that has that. So I feel like you should have the ability as a head coach to edit your assistants and coordinators as well. Strength and conditioning coaches. I feel like for off-season training results, they should implement a strength and conditioning coach as well, and which that'll determine like how much your players progress during the offseason. So depending on the skill tree and the grade that your strength and conditioning coach has, it'll make a huge factor on how well your players develop over the offseason. Position coaches for player skill development. So you don't have to add every single one, but maybe a QB coach, a QB coach, an offensive line and a defensive line coach, and a secondary coach. You know, even like, yeah, if you want to add receiver / tight end and linebacker / edge, that'll be even better. But I feel like position coaches also play a factor in how your players develop as well, and your strength and conditioning coach will play a factor in how your overall team develops, right? I feel like we should be able to negotiate our coach's contract. So let's just say our offensive coordinator is getting poached and he's getting offered a head job to, let's just say, Ole Miss, right? And we don't want that to happen, so we have a actual contract negotiation trying to see what he's asking for and what can we provide. If I'm not mistaken, they have these things in Madden. So in the franchise mode, so the blueprint is already laid out. You just got to bring it over to college, right? More coaching archetypes. So for an example, these are something that I feel like would be great to add. So one is Portal King, right? Portal King, the Lane Kiffin, the Mario Cristobal, the coaches that hit the portal, you know, heavy. Their archetypes will consist of being good with NIL and portal interest. So, you know, they'll be good at containing the wallet for the funds, and they'll also be good with portal players already having more interest in your program because of the archetype of your head coach. Also, I feel like program builders should now be a coaching archetype, and program builders, those coaches should be really good with player retention and sponsorship. Coaches like that should be able to have perks that really help keep players from getting flipped, players from hitting the portal, and those players that have like brand exposure as a deal breaker, those players will have less chance of leaving for brand exposure because your head coach is good at getting sponsorships to the program, which will fund the NIL money even more. Now this is a team builder thing. Team builder coaches should also be able to get at least the primary logo or the team brand logo on their gear. I cannot stand the plain look that team builder coaches have on their equipment, on their uniforms. I feel like team builder coaches should at least be able to get the primary logo. If anything, the primary logo or whatever brand that you choose when you make your team, they should have that on their equipment, their hats, their visors. We should be able to choose if we want them to hold a play sheet, to be able to choose if we want them to wear a visor, if we wear it, what color, turn backwards to the side, define gravity like T.I., headgear, no headgear, you know, all that should be things we should be able to put on our coaches. But the team builder coaches, show them some love and let them get the brand gear. All right, so now the final and the last topic is presentation of what I would like to see in college football 27, man. So bring back college game day, man, especially for primetime games with announcer picks. They had it back in the day on older consoles with limited capabilities. It's no excuse. ESPN, the only thing you care about is money, bro. That would add so much immersion to the game. People have been asking for that for so long. The ability to choose when you want a home game to be a night game, especially for primetime game and rivalry games, even if it's something that you got to eventually earn a perk for as a head coach. Like, give us the ability to choose, bro. Like, and like I mentioned in the video, the wish list, like, not only can we choose, hey, we want this game against LSU to be a night game, we also want our crowd to white out. We want our crowd to stripe the stadium. We want our crowd to wear all blue. Let us have that choice, you know, so it can add more immersion to the stadium environment. Better commentary, more excitement, especially for turnovers, game winners, you know, etc. So I want you guys to check this out. I'm finna put this on the screen, right? This is AI generated commentary that I saw. I came across this on TikTok. It's absolutely amazing. Just take a listen to this.
Oh, he shoves another one straight in the face. Still up, spins free. Now he has a lane midfield, cutting back inside the numbers. Nobody's gonna catch him.
Okay, let's slow this down and watch it again. Watch the receiver here, stance low, selling that inside lean, stick to the left, defender bites, now back across, and oh my goodness!
Snap back, hold down, wait, they're not kicking it, fake, toss to the tight end, he's got it, 20, 15, one man to beat, oh, he slips him! Get that defender a map, because he's
running Cincinnati on their own 46, Sorsby looking for it all, pressure coming, he fires right side to Caldwell, it is caught! Are you kidding me? Touchdown Bearcats!
22 seconds, Manning in the gun at the 11, steps up, pressure coming, looks middle, fires, caught by Sanders at the 2, he's hit, stays up, drives, touchdown Texas!
Now, if you love college football, you can't tell me that didn't give you goosebumps, right? Imagine if they put that in the game. Like, it's AI generated, AI is already taken over anyways, so it shouldn't be that hard to implement, but I'm telling you guys, EA, the dev team, whoever, you gotta make this happen, at least on college football 28. The capabilities should be there. I feel like, with that being said, the stadium should empty out, especially if it's a blowout game. But if you put more funding into your stadium atmosphere, right, through the NIL wallet, they won't leave. It's like not too many of your fans will leave because the stadium environment, the stadium atmosphere will be high. It'll be a high grade. So because of that, you fund into your stadium atmosphere. That'll also have your crowd remain louder throughout the game, which I think would be awesome. They need to have student sections in the game too. Play student sections in the game. For real teams, have their actual location where they be, but for team builder teams specifically, when you design your stadium, because we do need a stadium builder, when you design your stadium, we should be able to place where we want the student section. And the student section should actually affect opposing teams just as much as the actual crowd does. I feel like we should have the option for a stadium rest. It's kind of a reach, but I figured I'd put in a video. And if just to make it fair, it should come with an NIL fine if you accept. So when the game is over with, only for big games, right? Big games and close games. So overtime games, rivalry games, that's it. When the game is over and you won, they'll give you an indicator that you can select yes or no. Do you want to crowd rest? And if you select yes, it'll also warn you, are you sure? An NIL fine, blah, 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 will be subtracted from your team wallet if you choose to make this decision. You still say yes anyway, your crowd will rest the field, it'll hit your NIL a little bit, but still, it'll add that immersion to the rivalry game, especially if you want to just put that stake in the opponent's heart. Home crowds actually affects opposing teams. It does not on College Football 26. It does not. It affects you, but it does not affect the AI, the computer. I need to see quarterbacks being confused. I need to see false starts when the crowd goes crazy. I need to see the team calling timeouts to avoid delay of games. The closer that team, the opposing team is to your student section, the more it affects them, especially when you upgrade your stadium atmosphere. Student sections and crowds should matter when you are playing against the computer, because it does not. It affects you when you're on the road, but it does not affect the computer, not like the way it should, not like the way they advertise. Stadiums in the top 10 will get an extra bar from the student section for loudness whenever there are turnovers, fourth down attempts, game deciding drives, overtime drives, etc. So if you're in a top 10 stadium environment, if you're next to that student section is going to affect the crowd even more, especially the closer you are. And as the game is more on the line, that student section is going to go crazier and you're going to feel it. I feel like optional spring games during the offseason should be implemented as well. No injuries, just gives you a chance to see what you recruited, what you got. They'll talk about it on the bulletin boards like, hey, watch out for this player coming into the season. He did such and such during the spring game. Practice mode, I feel like with practice mode, this would be actual practice uniforms, right? Like helmets with no logos on it, just plain jerseys, padded helmets, and stuff like that. Like this picture right here, pretty much. I feel like you should have actual practice uniforms for the practice mode, right? Players warming up during pregame announcements. The announcers should talk briefly about the key players on both teams, not the freaking tight end. I don't know about you guys, but every time I play this game, my best player is apparently the tight end, and that's all they talk about, is both tight ends. Talk about the actual good players on the team, especially the ones that had a good game previously. So them warming up with their jerseys rolled up, their helmet off, whatever, their helmet with the pads on before the game, stuff like that. There also should be a Heisman Trophy presentation, and it can be optional. You can skip it if need be, but there needs to be a Heisman Trophy presentation, an actual presentation. If I'm not mistaken, they had it before in older games. Just like I said with commitment day presentations, they need Heisman Trophy presentations where your player walks on the stage, accepts his trophy, smiles for the camera, takes some pictures, and boom, they give you a congratulations. I feel like that'll also add a lot to the game as well. Last but final thing, championship games, conference games, playoff games, and natty games should have a louder crowd pulse regardless. And it should always be a primetime college game day presentation every single time. The crowd is louder, you get impacted more, so does the other team because it's a neutral site. The stakes feel higher. They said it felt higher in college. They said in College Football 26 it was going to feel higher. I call cap. I don't tell the difference. Honestly, playoff games and stuff, I feel like I'm more at an advantage against better teams in playoff games. So I feel like the stakes should be higher in them games as well, man. So, hey, that's my list. Be sure to comment in the comment section below. Let me know anything else that you want to add to this Dynasty list. Be sure to share this video so it can reach a dev. It is not too late. Closed mouths do not get fed. Follow me on my social medias, man. And be sure to like the video. Hit that bell if you're new and sub to the channel. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
Yeah, sit back, slide in. Shawty wanna come and ride in the whip. Ain't fugazi on ship and legit. Fast films, give me ride with the pace. Okay, H, showing driving up other ways. City lights out of up in the gates. Pushing 90, but she still feeling safe for me. Black shades when I swept through the lanes. Okay.